Lila Thompson walked into the auction hall, excited to see what treasures she could find. The room was filled with old furniture and antiques, and the smell of wood was strong. Lila had been running her father's antique shop, Thompson's Treasures, for 10 years now. Today, she was looking for something special. As she walked around, her eyes landed on a beautiful table. It was an Epoxy River Table with a clear blue resin running through the middle like a river. The wood and resin sparkled under the lights. Lila felt drawn to it and walked closer, touching the smooth surface. The auctioneer's description said, "Handcrafted Epoxy River Table. Origin unknown. Reserve price $4,000. Lila knew she had to have it. Something about the table felt familiar, but she couldn't understand why. The auction started, and the table was very popular. Many people wanted it, but Lila was determined. She finally won the table for $8,500. She was thrilled as it was loaded in her truck. Back at her shop, she gave the table a special spot in the showroom. Customers admired it, but Lila felt a deep connection. She decided to find out more about its origins. A few days later, while polishing the table, the shop's doorbell rang. A tall man with sandy blonde hair and blue eyes walked in. He looked out of place among the antiques, but he walked with purpose. Lila's heart skipped a beat as she recognized him. Tom Lawson, her high school sweetheart, who had disappeared years ago. "Lila," Tom said, his voice filled with surprise and relief. "It's been a long time." Lila was shocked. "Tom, what are you doing here?" Tom looked around the shop before his eyes rested on the Epoxy River Table. "I'm here for that table," he said, pointing at it. "I made it." Lila's mind spun. "You made this? How? Why?" Tom stepped closer. "There is something I need to show you," he said, taking out a small wooden box from his bag. He opened it to reveal an old folded piece of parchment. "This," Tom said, unfolding the parchment to show a hand-drawn map. "It's a treasure map, and the key to finding the treasure is hidden in the table." Lila stared at the map, trying to understand. "A treasure map? Tom, this sounds like a fairy tale." Tom nodded. "I know, but it's real. My grandfather was a treasure hunter. He believed in a secret inheritance hidden in our hometown. He spent his life searching for it but never found it. When he died, he left me his note and this map. I hid the key in the table to keep it safe." Lila's eyes widened. "And you think the key is in this table?" Tom nodded. "Yes, the reason isn't just for decoration. It's a code. But I couldn't solve it alone. I need your help, Lila." Lila saw the sincerity in Tom's eyes. Despite the years and mysterious disappearance, she felt a deep connection. "Okay," she said, "let's find the key." They carefully studied the table, looking for clues. After hours of examining, Lila noticed tiny symbols in the resin, almost invisible. "Look," she said, pointing. "These symbols must be part of the code." Tom leaned in, concentrating. "You are right. These match some notes my grandfather left. We need to find a sequence." They spent days decoding the symbols, comparing them with the map and notes. Slowly, a pattern emerged. The symbols were coordinates leading to a specific place in town. "It's pointing to the old oak tree in Pinewood Park," Tom said, excitement and worry in his voice. "That's where we need to go." At night, Lila and Tom went to Pinewood Park with the map. The old oak tree stood tall, its branches casting shadows in the moonlight. They searched the base of the tree for a hidden compartment. "Here," Tom said, kneeling down. He brushed away leaves and dirt to reveal a small old lock box. With trembling hands, he opened it to find documents and antique keys. They looked at each other in triumph. The document showed a hidden vault under an old abandoned estate on the edge of town. The keys would unlock the vault. "We found it," Lila whispered, her heart racing. "We really found it." The next morning, Lila and Tom set out for the old estate. armed with the documents and keys. The estate had been abandoned for years, an artifact of a bygone era. It was said to have belonged to a reclusive millionaire, rumored to have hidden his fortune before mysteriously disappearing. The mansion was granted but decayed, with ivy crowded up its stone walls and windows boarded. As they approached, Lila couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, but Tom's determination kept her moving forward. They entered through a side door, the hinges cracking as it swung open. Inside, the air was thick with dust, and their footsteps echoed through the empty halls. Using the document as a guide, they navigated through the maze of rooms until they found a hidden door behind a massive bookshelf in the library. Tom inserted one of the antique keys into the lock. With a heavy click, the door swung open to reveal a narrow staircase descending into darkness. They grabbed flashlights from their bags and carefully made their way down. At the bottom, they found a large iron door with intricate engravings. Tom used the second key and the door groaned as it opened, revealing a hidden vault with treasure beyond their wildest dreams. There were stacks of gold coins, antique jewelry, and ancient artifacts, but the most intriguing find was a set of journals and blueprints. The journals belonged to Tom's grandfather, detailing his lifelong quest for the treasure and the secrets he uncovered. The blueprints were for the estate and other properties in town, suggesting a network of hidden tunnels and rooms. As they pored over the journals, a picture began to emerge of a secret society dedicated to protecting these treasures. The society, known as the Guardians of the Lost Inheritance, had members all over the world. Tom's grandfather had been a key member, and his sudden disappearance years ago was now shrouded in even greater mystery. "This is incredible," Lila said, leafing through the journals. "Your grandfather was part of something much bigger than we imagined." Tom nodded, his eyes wide with amazement. "We need to understand what he was trying to achieve and why he hid the key in that table." As they read on, they discovered that the Guardians were not just protectors of wealth, but also keepers of knowledge. The artifacts in the vault were not merely valuable items, they were pieces of history that told the story of civilization long gone. The Guardians believed in preserving this history and using the wealth to fund educational and humanitarian projects worldwide. Tom found a letter addressed to him in his grandfather's handwriting. It explained the importance of the treasures and the responsibility that came with them. His grandfather had hidden the key in the table to ensure it was found by someone trustworthy. The letter concluded with a plea: "Carry on our legacy, Tom. Use the treasures wisely and protect the knowledge we have gathered." Lila and Tom spent the next few weeks cataloging the items in the vault and securing them. They decided to restore the estate and turn it into a museum dedicated to the guardians of the lost inheritance. The museum would not only display the treasures but also educate the public about the importance of preserving history. They also reached out to other descendants of the Guardians, forming a new network to continue the society's work. With the wealth from the vaults, they funded archaeological expeditions, educational programs, and humanitarian projects around the world. As they worked side by side, Lila and Tom rediscovered their love for each other. The years apart melted away, and they found comfort in their shared mission and memories. They often talk about their high school days, laughing about old stories and making new ones. One evening, while taking a break in the newly restored library, Tom took Lila's hand. "Thank you for believing in me and helping me find this treasure. I couldn't have done it without you." Lila smiled, her eyes shining. "I'm just glad we found each other again. This adventure has been incredible, but having you back in my life is the greatest treasure of all." The museum's grand opening was a huge success. People from all over the world came to see the treasure and learn about the Guardians. Lila and Tom stood hand in hand, proud of what they had accomplished. The Epoxy River Table, now a centerpiece in the museum, symbolized the beginning of their journey and the legacy they were now a part of. The table's risen river Once a mysterious code had led them to a hidden world of history and adventure. As they looked at the table, Lila whispered to Tom, "This is just the beginning. There is so much more to discover." Tom nodded, his heart full of hope and excitement. "And we'll do it together, just like we always have." Consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this.